I don't get it. I still don't get it.
Arizona moon keep shining from the desert sky above. You know, pretty soon that big yellow moon will light the way back to the one you love.
Happy Valentine's Day, and welcome to the Bad Circles Bad Idea Podcast. Currently with our worst idea yet. This is a podcast, if you don't know, where we go through movies of the past and try to see if we can come up with a way to market them as an actual money-making remake or as a sequel in the modern era. And today we got ourselves a beautiful doozy. It's the 1963 John Wayne movie, McLintock. And that is a beautiful country western movie whose ending and meaning I can only surmise is that the only true way to reach a woman's heart is by corporal beating. So that's why I find this an interesting movie for us to discuss. I'm here with Brant and Katz, where we can discuss the movie McLintock and see if there's a way that we can bring that message there to the people.
Throw us for a loop. I thought you were like, hey guys, actually today we're doing Three Amigos. I fucking got you.
I would have loved it if we did Three Amigos, but no, that intro song was just...
with the Charlie Sheen one?
Yeah. No, Baby,
Steve
is he in it?
No, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short.
Yeah, not Two and a Half Amigos, the Three Amigos. Three full-grown Amigos.
Yeah, but... So yeah, guys, this is a podcast. I'm sure we got thousands of people listening to us, and our Facebook marketing strategy is working incredibly well. But anyway, so for those of you who don't know, this is a movie where basically John Wayne plays old man McLintock, who runs this cattle ranch in town. Right. He used to fight Indians, Native Americans, whatever. They call them Indians in the movie, so my apologies if we call them Indians here. But he used to fight Indians in the American Indian Wars, whatever. And now a big part of the movie, he's trying to make sure that they maintain their water rights. Because apparently this movie, if you look into what John Wayne said about it, he actually made this movie for the express purposes of highlighting the trials and tribulations and the oppression of the Native American by the white man. Why he decided to frame that in a modernization of The Taming of the Shrew, that's an interesting choice, and that's where the discussion can start.
Okay. Yeah, so... Okay, what? We're supposed to okay, how's the start even? It was just there's so much that they just don't tell you in this movie, first of all. McLintock just has all this fucking shit going for him out of nowhere. You're just told, what?
You saying some cats?
You say something?
No, I just said he's loaded.
He's loaded.
They live in a mansion.
He made all that money cattle ranching.
He's got several small Mexican children who daily, every morning, climb his house to fetch him his hats from up top. He's got a mine, I guess. I thought there was going to be some there will be blood in this, but no, there is nothing. This is definitely a movie from the 60s, and that it is long.
It also it's very much from the 60s because We'll get into the wife beating stuff because that's probably going to take the most discussion out of this whole thing, thematically at least.
Brant made the comparison to There Will Be, or not the comparison, but the There Will Be Blood reference, and it's kind of funny because this movie was the exact opposite of There Will Be Blood, where McLintock pays people pretty low. He he's made a ton of money doing what he does, cattle ranching and doing the oil stuff. And everyone just loves him. He's for some reason his family is the quirky family.
Yeah, they just let him do fucking whatever he wants. He's just a town sweetheart.
I mean, I assume it's because he's literally John Wayne just living in their town. It's if the character, not the man, but the character John Wayne just lived in your town and always had some cool cowboy mannerism to throw at you. The town basically treats him that way, and then basically. I guess he's probably never treated anybody poorly in his life. He's just that kind of what a cool old guy character.
Yeah, no, the spirit of the film in that sense is like he has that line. I think it's like towards the end where he's like, everybody works for somebody, like I work for you guys or something like that. And
the line was because I remember this line. It was he was talking to the guy who he was given a job, and he says, well, everybody works for somebody. I work for every American who wants a nice juicy steak, and you work for me.
Yeah, every American in a butcher shop. And that was like when I felt like, is this actually like the prequel or like the sequel to There Will Be Blood, and like he's just really toned his shit down super hard? Is that what's going on?
Right? Yeah. No, that sounded like a Daniel Plainview like line.
If he said
maybe that's the way that we market this movie in 2020 is we just include it in a box set with There Will Be Blood and just say it's There Will Be Blood 2, the prequel.
Not in a box set even. Like at some point, like we'll just go back to like having those like 14 movies on like one DVD. But like There Will Be Blood will be on it, and then McLintock and like just all these like old relics, and this is when Redbox is,
finally taking over the world.
Yeah,
Redbox police stations on every corner demanding that you watch. Yeah, that's what we'll do as a rebellion. We'll just really shittily rip a bunch of movies we like and put them on the same disc and like the way we think that universe should go. So it'll be there.
Man, I've been trying to keep the piracy empire under wraps. Just don't say that on the live. The piracy empire is my fallback.
We won't rip it. We'll do the legal way, but we'll just put it so it'll be like There Will Be Blood to McLintock. We'll come after McLintock, I guess. It would be the Indian in the cupboard.
Like probably not.
Oh,
but all right. I like the way you're thinking there, Brant. But so for the sake of getting this plot out, just so you know, so John Wayne's wife is like they're still married, but they're estranged. Essentially, she doesn't fucking ever hang out with him, but their grown daughter is coming to town to visit Pops.
Oh man, how fucking weird was that too when she showed up and like her uncle had the whole like everyone's got together like a prettiest girl that ever left this town, and they just keep fucking saucing her up and saucing her up.
Yeah, no,
a lot of that stuff is just so 60s.
Yeah, no, that was like a really funny part, especially because there's so many women in the crowd that are just like, yeah, like the prettiest girl ever. The prettiest girl ever in that region or like that county or the territory, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like literally from like, there's no prettier girl than like at 600 miles from you currently in this position right now, ma'am. It's so good to have someone who doesn't look like fucking shit walking these streets with your cute freckles and your button nose, all these ugly fucking hags. These basically should have said that, dude. Instead it was this weird sappy bullshit.
And also basically just saying that like the mom like she's way better looking than the mom because like I guess they're not counting her at all.
A weird thing too with her. Did anyone else like pick up on that? Like like he definitely wanted to fuck that mom. The uncle definitely wanted to fuck. Yeah.
Oh, maybe the uncle did.
There, yeah.
The general store owner. He was flirting with her a little bit, tickling her nose with a feather while she slept and talking about sweet cows. Milk.
Actually, so I didn't get that vibe from that guy. The vibe I got from that guy was just fucking, he's the guy who owns the country store and he has fucking like red cheeks. He's just that guy. He's not trying to fuck everybody, which I think is an important thing for us to realize in looking at movies back then. Everything looks creepy. Every line where a white person talks to a black person has some weird
a lot of connotation, yeah.
It has a little bit of a weird connotation. The 60s are basically now, only everyone isn't in on it yet.
Where this is like the reverse of There Will Be Blood. Our timeline currently is like the reverse of the 60s, where it's like back then you could just kind of say whatever and it would be kind of like, he's just the so-and-so from down the street. Now, if you say anything, it's like, no, he's not going to be here much longer. Don't you worry.
Yeah, no, they also, I would like to throw out a trigger warning as well, just for anybody listening, that this movie does have frequent use of the word trollop. So if you find that offensive, I'm sorry, but we have to say it in order to discuss this film.
Actually, yeah, come to think of it, this was a fairly tame movie for like racial stuff, honestly.
Well, he was legitimately trying to do something good. He was being like the guy in the 60s with the power. He was pulling a Marlon Brando, like how Marlon Brando refused an Oscar because of the way that the Academy treated Native Americans. This was basically one of his moves doing that. He was trying to do like a pro Native American kumbaya kind of thing. So that
totally fell apart at the end, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Well, he didn't do brown face, and that's really like that was the best decision, I could easily have seen it going that
from
way.
Your boy here: how long before or after Genghis Khan was this?
What do you mean? What?
Genghis Khan was like in the 50s, I want to say. So this
1956. So this was 7 years after John Wayne played Genghis Khan.
And how much longer? After there's that famous quote where he's like, the Indians selfishly wanted to have all their land. So it wasn't, it's only fair that we took a little bit. Like they were just being like whiners. Like at some point,
if this is gonna be a podcast where we just deep dive into every slightly problematic thing John Wayne ever said, then we're gonna be here a while, man.
Yeah, we can wait a second. Let's skip over that. If we're gonna go anything into John Wayne's history, let's talk about when he managed that KFC and started killing little boys and dressing up like a clown. I think that's a much more interesting part than him being racist to Indians or whatever and Mongolians.
People think he died in the 70s, but actually he just morphed.
Yeah, he just got fatter and gay.
Yeah.
And some people think John Wayne was gay. I honestly don't necessarily. If we were like really smart film critics, like there's probably a way that we could break down like, he clearly like wasn't even able to notice that the wife beating in this film was offensive to women because deep down inside he just wanted to fuck dudes.
Yeah, here's my top 2 reasons why John Wayne is gay in this movie. There is no wife, there's no woman fucking whatsoever. You don't even see kissing. So there's no intimacy towards women. And in fact, there's a lot of beating of women instead. There's a lot of beating.
The women are presented as like crazy bitches that just need to be like slapped around a little bit and then they're great.
So that's, I think, the ethos of this movie that is probably the most quote unquote problematic is just literally, all right, so the whole movie happens, there's a thing with the natives, and he's trying to help out the natives, but that's literally just the B plot, and don't you forget it, because the A plot is about John Wayne trying to get a young ranch hand to fuck his daughter, and then he fucking spanks his daughter in front of her because she's being lippy or something.
He shoots him first, and then he lets the young man spank his daughter in front of him.
That's a good point. He shot her with a starter pistol.
And then hands him a paddle, or not a paddle, but like a metal like little trowel,
a coal scooper for like fireplaces for fucking getting all your ash out, the ash whatever.
A serious like a metal instrument, and it's like okay,
a thick rod, iron metal instrument smacking her fucking ass, and I was like, damn, yeah, this is the movie for me right now.
He doesn't even know. Like I think he had just met him that day. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, wait, no, it was. Okay, from there, so when the guy he hired beat his daughter in front of him,
he didn't beat her though, right? Like John Wayne beat her, right? Like John Wayne told him to do it.
Yeah, I guess technically corporal punishment. Yeah, no, he's not to blame. Like the Nazis, they were just following orders. But
John didn't do it. I thought it was
I'm pretty sure. John Wayne did it, didn't he? Like, didn't he try to offer the spanky thing? No. The guy was going to spank her with his bare hand, and then he offered the spanky thing. Is that?
It's a callback because they do the exact same callback where John Wayne hands the farm. Yeah, John Wayne hands him the paddle, and then at the very end, the farmhand guy hands John Wayne the paddle, and he paddles his own wife. So it's like a weird bro thing, like where it's like, oh, here's your paddle, like that, little callback.
Right, but he had known him for like 2 or 3 days by then, so it wasn't like he just met him. He's played chess with him like twice, and so that's basically family back then, dude.
It's true. There's very intimate moments.
But yeah, so essentially that's where the movie goes. Like there's a whole plot going on where he's trying to help out these natives that just want their water rights, and they're about to be fucking wrestled up by the government and sent off to a fucking shitty reservation somewhere that isn't their homeland.
The whole time these Indian people are being oppressed, and then they're starving, and they're being used and then tossed around. The whole time that's happening in the B plot. The A plot is John Wayne constantly throwing parties and having a grand old time.
Yeah, and honestly, so this movie is a comedy. Don't forget that. And there's actually it did make me laugh a couple of times, just through some of like the wholesome, silly parties.
The slapstick.
Yeah, the slapstick. There's like a good scene where John Wayne, the guy who's trying to fuck John Wayne's daughter, like gets into a punch up in the yard, and like that stuff's nice. It's humorous. There's some good jokes in there.
The dad that just like takes a punch to the face like no other.
The big dude.
Yeah, it makes like a weird sound. He's like, beats the shit out of like.
I don't want you kicking him in the shins. He didn't kick me in the shins, and John Wayne just beating up on this big guy and just being like, "Don't do this." That was funny. The slapstick in this movie is classic. The '60s were like the best time for slapstick. Oh man, the fight in the mine pits where like everyone's going down the wet, muddy path into the water.
Yeah, that was the most classic Western punch-up scene I've seen in so long.
And it didn't even take place in a bar. And I was like, that's great, actually. I'm glad they fucking diversified away from just like punching people in the saloon to just punching people by the gallows instead.
Yeah, no, that was
a good set piece. It was fun. You know, they did it. It went on for a while too. That was a long scene. That was like at least 3 or 4 minutes or more.
Because it starts with these native their chiefs, their leaders coming out. You know, they just got released from prison from one of them actually shot John Wayne earlier, and that's how he earned the respect of John. But
that's why these guys are respectful towards John Wayne, because John Wayne, like, it's just like a warrior's respect thing.
Yeah.
Where back in the day, the chief tried to kill John Wayne and he couldn't.
He lived through it. Yeah. So they get dropped off. You know, all the tribe comes and like welcomes their chiefs and like, oh, and then of course the bureaucrat, the nerd, shows up and it starts a whole fist fight, and it's just wonderful. Honestly, that was the only part that my brain might have actually been working during this showing. 10 out of 10. I love it when I love it to see the fucking Western boys and the denim jackets and the chaps just toss to the left and toss to the right.
Yeah, and really good wardrobe, you know, just going straight into the mud. You know, like everybody had like
really expensive wardrobe at the time too, because that shit was all like hand stitched.
For real, and it looked great. Like it was great costumes.
Fucked up. I would have been seething to be in the fucking department. Could you imagine being in costumes during this movie and you're just like, I fucking know all the shit I'm sewing and putting together is gonna get ruined.
Brand, I can just picture you just with like a needle and thread around your neck and a sweater, and you just throw your scissors into the ground.
The molasses, I would have lost at the end when she gets covered with molasses. Like, that's it.
Right.
God damn it.
Okay, so let's just talk about that scene in its entirety. So what happens is at the end of the movie, this is the only time that the B&A plot kind of start touching, where at the end of the movie, the natives fucking bust out because of help from John Wayne and whoever. The natives bust out right before they're about to be fucking trained down to the reservation they're going to. And then shit goes nuts. The town's fucking flying up. There's brawls. There's this. There's that. There's shootouts, all sorts of shit going on. And that all culminates in the wife, who, let's talk about like who actually the wife is and why this happens to her. So the wife in this movie is not like a nice person. She's not a fucking terrible person. Is she? What was your guys' opinion on who this character actually was? How bad was she?
She was a shrew. She was just, she was just like I don't know, like I think it's kind of funny. Like, I don't know if I think like this kind of like exists in real life, and it's also probably just like a writer's invention. But you know, it's the woman that's like super hot and is, you know, like super bitchy towards everybody, and it's just because, you know, she wants like the guy to like give her a spanking, basically, or like, you know, put her in her place.
Right, and that's what happens essentially is Brand, did you have something to add on that point?
It's established like that she has been sleeping around with, you know, despite being married to John. She's fucking the governor of the state or whatever, and she's like flirt. Yeah. You don't remember that
She
part?
is doing that, yeah. No. And the governor of the state is set up to be a total boner, and they make it really clear that if she's banging him, she's just doing it for power.
I thought that in that scene, what he said was like, don't tell anybody, like, because he had like come on to her, and I thought she had like rejected him. He was just like, don't tell anybody that I had come on to you.
It's a very surprisingly liberating thing. Like, that's very like nowadays, very like power to the woman and stuff. Where it's like, well, I use my sexuality to just use you, so get fucked, governor. And she says, and basically, she says in like nice '60s terms, it's something more like,
Sure.
"Oh, how could you think that I would, like stay with you? It was just a fling of a moment thing." And then she just kind of walks away, like, "Oh snap!" And then she goes back to being a humongous bitch.
Right, and so. Yeah. So that's basically her arc throughout the entire movie, and she's just anything you can picture her doing to annoy John Wayne, who is a drunk old fucking bastard in this movie, cowboy guy. She gets in the way of every little bit of enjoyment he has here and there, left and right, back and forth. Wilma, that kind of shit. It's the honeymooners for a good 2 hours of the movie, and then when the shootout starts happening, she happens to be in a general store. Bullets fly into a couple of fucking barrels of molasses, pouring that all over her. Somehow feathers get shot all over her.
Oh, that was literally shit. I was so mad because she's like,
they were just going with the tar and feather joke. They just wanted the tar and feather joke. I fell into this
giant bag of feathers. Oh, I'm shaking it all over myself.
I know. She picked it up and actually shaked it.
It made me laugh because of the silliness, so I allow it. But then that scene is immediately followed by her going to John Wayne, and John Wayne's like, you damn lady, because she says something else to him. She pisses him off one more time, and he's like, man, geez Louise, these ladies. And then he goes outside, and then it's either the uncle character or one of his buddies or the son character. Somebody says to him, you just gotta beat that bitch, basically.
Yeah, no, it's the uncle. He's like, my dad always said, when you use your words and it doesn't work, you got to use your hands.
Yeah, and then the next 7 or 8 minutes of this movie is just a Roadrunner cartoon of John Wayne just slowly walking after this woman who is screaming and running and falling off of buildings, and John Wayne's slowly walking at her.
The whole time she's slowly being stripped of all of her clothing until she's just in a corset and bra and panties, basically.
Yeah, it reminded me, honestly, it actually kind of reminded me of like the shaming scene
of Game of Thrones.
The Game of Thrones. It was like shame.
And
she's stripped out of the boat.
It's not like it's just him chasing her either. It's not like it's him and you hear sirens in the distance, so we better get this done quick. No, the entire town is at fucking Coachella, basically. They are all about this shit. They are down
to see it. Yeah, they are down to see some beatdown.
And this is honestly, right after.
No one in the town liked her and everyone in the town liked him, so
it's amazing.
We kind of get it.
Yeah.
It's wild because
it was.
Okay, sorry. I'll be real quick, Cats. Because what happens is he walks in, he's like, "Hey, Catherine, or whatever your name is, Kathy. Why you so mean to me? Why you so mean to me, John Wayne?" And she's like, "Oh, remember that time you came back with like some lipstick on a collar? That's why I've been such a bitch to you this whole time, and I hate you now." Despite the fact that she was fucking the governor, and that was established later. Also, all this shit happens right after a bunch of Indians fucking run through, a bunch of Native Americans run through with guns, shooting up the fucking place. Everyone's like, whoa, thank God that's over. Let's have a barbecue. And the fucking start of this whole chase scene where, like, she's just trying to run away from him, she falls onto the fucking picnic table. Like, total Pilgrim style, too. It's like fucking 6 tables long of people just eating cake and having fun. Falls on it, runs. Oh no, Josh!
No, there's definitely come some kind of like smush porn fetishism and any sort of like the woman being in an awkward position boner that you may have. This is a perfect place for it.
100%,
yeah,
dude. Like,
record boner included. Like they destroy so much shit.
But the tone. Literally, people highly recommend. This movie's fucking free everywhere. It's on Amazon. It's on Tubi. Watch the last 10 minutes just so you can see this fascinating scene. But and then it goes exactly where you think it's going. He finally gets to her. He gives her a loud, raucous spanking while the town goes, hey, hey. And then fade to their house that night.
No. Wait. You jumped over. He gets into the carriage. And he gets into the carriage and leaves without her. he's just gonna leave, like ditch her with like no recourse to get back to the house, like no clothing, not even her shoes, I don't think.
Right.
And she has to run and chase after him, and she's running like super fucking, like she's running fast, and she jumps onto the back, and then we fade out.
And then we fade to the house at the very ending, and it's John Wayne and his wife, and they're having a conversation like the rest of the movie didn't just happen. And she's just like, "You're right, and you've always been right. I'm a bitch. I love you, John." And then the movie's over.
Well,
GW.
I mean, it's not that they were treating it like it didn't just happen. They're treating it like what just happened,
Was
like,
he cured her bitchness?
Yeah.
By
like,
beating
he just tamed her. She like got back and she's like, God, I feel so much better,
Wow, you really smacked some sense into my ass, John Wayne. Let me cook you a dinner and just totally drop my entire character arc in these last seconds here. Fucking what?
It was shot like the Brady Bunch.
Dude, yeah. Like, I'm surprised it didn't have like some end credit music that was the same shit. I was like the fucking Sting Out, whatever it's called, when when a fucking show back then would end and it's like, hey, the credits are about to hit, and they hit like that fucking orchestral sting right before the credits roll. Super surprised I didn't hear Brady Bunch going or some shit.
Right after he says like, do some Sting, because like right after he says like, what is it? He's like, Happy Days.
Happy days. That is what he says at the end. Yeah. No, it's really, really, really interesting.
It's an odd sight in the way John Wayne's brain works, and I'm honestly, I can see why he killed all those kids.
Okay, so we're getting pretty close. We're getting pretty close to the point where we do the thing where we try to talk about how to remake this movie. And the last thing I want to talk about before we move into that, what were you saying, Katz?
No, nothing. I was just saying. I was going to say, is there anything we're leaving out?
Well, yeah, that was. I just want to let's talk about it in a grander scheme of things. Just on the off chance there's one person listening, on the off chance that person is a good person, maybe even like a feminist or one of those or something. On the off chance that person's here, I'm pretty sure we all acknowledge that hitting women, especially when you're a 6'7" guy who kills Indians, probably not your best move. I'm not gonna. 6'7"? Yeah, he's a big boy. He might not be 6'7". He's like 6'3" or something. He's a big boy.
I say, damn, that's a giant, brother. Back then too, you would have been a fucking freak of nature.
Well, and all I'm saying is so this movie is essentially about. Yeah, John Wayne can say it's about the natives and stuff, and he should have just made two movies if he wanted to make this movie and that movie. But so this movie is essentially about gender dynamics. It's about men getting annoyed with women. And even if the way that they went about that story back then is problematic and is a little physical, like I can't defend any of that type of stuff, but I do think there's still validity in the story structure of, God damn it, I hate my wife. And then at the end, you win. Like, I think that story structure still has a lot of validity there. And it works with, God damn it, I hate my husband, too. Like, both sides are welcome to that. I just wanted to...
It's even. They both hate each other in, like, that awkward sexual tension that if you were to go to a friend's house and, like, any of that started, you would be very by yourself on the couch feeling awkward. I mean, like, maybe I should just fucking leave.
Yeah, no, that's like all your hairs start raising and you just pet the dog and don't look at it.
Yeah, where is this going?
Yeah, you hear them screaming from upstairs and you're like, man, I should leave before this turns into a murder-suicide.
This isn't worth Gears of War 2.
That's the thing, though. If you're going to remake, I mean, okay, if any like interpretation of this film, I feel like has to have at least like some form of the events, like of the ending,
Yeah.
So, like, whether it's portrayed as good or bad, I think is like the question.
Yeah.
Good point.
Well, then, if you guys have an angle on where to go with that, I think I'm going to play this here thing. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Here we are in the place where we talk about the movies.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Jeffrey Epstein, could you leave real quick? Where we booked this room for our podcast. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, say hi to Ghislaine for me or whatever her fucking name is.
don't mime doing a cocaine line really, really hard if you have earbuds in. I just sucked the rubber thing off.
Oh, is that what that sound was?
Yeah, it was painful, and one of my ears still isn't right. So we're just
remind me.
So now I'm in charge because I picked this movie. I don't have to come up with a good way to remake it, but I have my two producers here, both acclaimed filmmakers, Oscars out the wazoo and in the wazoo, and you guys are going to tell me how you think we can remake. I just got my hands on the rights. I got them right here in my hand. These are the rights.
There's some lefts too,
and it's in the public domain.
Yeah, but no, I have the rights now, though. Like, it's in the public domain, but I have the rights now, though.
Did you take that out of John Wayne's cold, dead hands? Did you fucking dig up his grave and fucking just...
Yeah.
Almost.
And he was clutching in one fist in a silver gauntlet held above the first layer of dirt that just had a piece of paper that said the rights to McLintock on it. And I wrestled that betwixt his grasp.
The moment you grab it, the other hand comes up and slaps you across the face and says, get out of here.
It was the same tomb. It was the same tomb that Charlton Heston is buried in. They're not buried, but like they're all every single old Western star is just in like one big tomb.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
Giant urn that's in the one big mausoleum.
I thought they just embalmed them so that they had an erection, and then they hung them on hooks and stacked each other with the penis to butt, penis in butt. Because that's how you save storage room is you put the penis in the butt, and then you just stack them like that.
Saving room. I'm saying that they cremate them and put them in giant glass urns, and when that urn finally has the last cowboy put in it and the ashes spill from the top, that's the end of the world. That's one of the seven seals breaking for like the apocalypse. You're thinking they're going to save space by having a bunch of cowboys butt fucking each other in a Congo line in some warehouse? I like that idea better, actually. Let's go with that one.
Either way, we're here to remake McLintock. Katz, you go first. What do you got? What's your theories?
Yeah. Well, like I said, we gotta hold on to the ending in some shape or form, and I think we should basically just present it in like a horror movie fashion. Like I know it's like kind of like expected, like it's like, oh, this is like a horror movie, just take away the music, but it's just such a weird thing that I feel like you could feasibly like do a film nowadays that's kind of like a parody film, like kind of like a not Mel Gibson, fuck, who's the guy that directed the producers? Mel Brooks, yeah, do a Mel Brooks type movie of this. Like a modern day satire, I guess, not or parody, I guguess, but modern day parody of this film, and just present it in a way that it's like kind of disturbing, but maybe do it in a I don't know, have some black humor involved.
So you're kind of saying like a neo Mel Brooks movie, like a like a postmodernist Mel Brooks movie,
like a scary movie.
Whereas Mel Brooks would take like a thriller and turn it into a comedy, we're taking a comedy and turning it into a thriller for the purposes of comedy.
Yes, and I think, I don't know, that's a very like difficult balance to probably like like run the line on, but like I think you could do it like, I'm trying to think of some other examples, like maybe like Tucker and Dale versus Evil type thing, where it's like.
I can definitely see the tone you're going for. I can sort of see. Yeah. So how does that translate to this plot, though? Do you have any scenes in mind?
Mostly what I have in mind is the end. I think like that's the one that I have the most ideas about. Like I think the mob should become more involved, where it's like I was kind of like thinking about The Lottery. Like I don't know if you ever read that short story.
No, I was raised by wolves and didn't have to do any like English literature stuff.
Yeah, makes sense. I feel like you could like amplify the horror if the crowd just starts turning into a mob, and then like you just turn it into some like wild crazy scene where they're like maybe like do a stoning or something like that. But
so wait, is your
she doesn't die somehow?
We're going kind of more on like we're gonna be silly and fun and just kind of like play it loose and play it kind of like a scary movie type parody thing until the end, and then you want like some real mob mentality, visceral shit of like this woman being stoned or like torn apart by these fucking.
Too far.
I'm digging it actually. I like.
Yeah,
how far.
I mean,
I don't. All right, so the issue. All right, so because I can kind of see that mob scene, because if you were just saying turn a comedy into a thriller, then that's one thing. That's obvious. That's easy enough to do, especially with this movie. I get it. But turning that back into comedy is where this becomes really, really difficult.
No, I'm seeing that.
So, like, as per an example, and that's the issue, is like bringing this movie into the modern day also means we have to, at least some way, either paper over the offensive shit, or we need to address the offensive shit. So if this movie is ending and it's a comedy and it's ending with a giant beating scene, tell me how to turn that into a comedy.
Okay.
Hitting women's funny.
God damn.
I have an update on my pitch. Let's not make it like it's not. We just don't film it in a realistic way at at all. Like, just make it so it's basically like a live action Looney Tunes, so that like at the end you maybe spice in stuff like a rock bounces off of her and like hits one of the other guys, like it hits one of the
falls on her and she walks out, like she opens the door from the inside and walks out of it like nothing happens.
Yeah, like just make it like super fucked up, but like a super jail episode or something like that. You know, like maybe, but you know they don't die. Like it's just like.
I mean, if you wanted to go full retard with it, you could just make it so, like, you could have pretty much the rest of the plot of the movie being pretty similar, and then you could just full Deus Ex Machina at the end, all almighty Monty Python, and just have a patrol of cops come in and arrest John Wayne, and then all misogyny is ended. Ruth Bader Ginsburg shows up, hits the mallet. Says fucking the future is female, and then whatever.
So now, okay. So after the Indians ride through, and then there's the cops are following them. They just have like after the beating scene happens, and like, oh hey, the stragglers of like those the guys chasing the Indians with the guns. Hey, what are y'all doing? Are you beating that woman, John Wayne? Get over here! And he twists his ear and he says, "You can't do that, buddy. Hey, shame."
Is this in the thriller tone though?
Well, I was gonna say, what if maybe this would add too much realism, but like you could do like the silhouette scene that they had at the very end, with the wife just shoots John Wayne.
Sopranos the gun cock, and then you hear the shot, but it just goes to black.
Oh God.
Okay, I'm gonna consider this. Brant, did you have a different angle on this?
I had a like a grinder. This is quite the different angle, honestly. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this movie in my brain, but there's an odd disconnect where I gloss over every time I watch it. I can't like absorb any of this movie.
You said this about the past 3 months, I think.
I know. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's like,
well, I was gonna say that because I kind of felt that too, and I think it's just because like we are so used to at this point the language of how film is made nowadays and how much faster it is and how much more information is coming into your brain. It's the same reason that you probably don't read a lot of Hemingway novels nowadays.
And this is also like a theater experience film. This was a movie that people would go to. This is one of 5 movies maybe at the most like that they saw that year. And they're like, okay, let's go see like the John Wayne movie. Yeah. It's like it's a big theater experience. You're watching it, and it's like, like it's a big.
And this came out in the 60s. This came out like at the beginning of television, so they weren't really thinking about putting this movie out on television that much while they were making it. So if you were going to see this movie, you were going to see this movie when it was in the theater, and then you might never see it again.
With your sweetheart.
So it just nowadays when you make a movie, someone could click off of it at any point. So you don't really have to keep people 100% interested, or you have to keep people 100% interested all the time because they could leave at any point. Whereas back then you were just like, I paid fucking $3. I'm in here for 2 hours.
$3, dude. No, like the 60s, it was like I paid a fucking dime to get in on this bitch, and I paid an extra 2 nickels for fucking popcorn and some candy for my sweetheart.
$1.50 or something. Yeah, $1.50 per ticket or something like that, and then a 50-cent soda.
Right.
But Brant, what was your movie though?
Also, first, real quick, I didn't glaze over for Clay Pigeons. I really did thoroughly enjoy that movie and absorbed probably way too much of it, honestly. Now I have nightmares of Vince Vaughn telling me that I'm his special guy But that's besides the point.
I already had those nightmares, but they weren't nightmares.
You wake up rock hard.
I just have a pillow that's designed specifically to say that in that voice.
Is it? How crusty is that pillow?
It's got holes certain places. You don't need to know any more about the pillow. You can fill it in, just like I do.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I don't know. I don't think this could be really a movie anymore. I'm not going to do let's do a fucking TV show on this thing. I honestly think, looking at this, what if we recreated the town of McLintock and we made it like an old west, I don't want to say like an amusement park.
Riverdale. Don't say Riverdale.
Not saying Riverdale. I'm saying an amusement park. Light amusement park. Maybe a water park even would work.
Okay, so this is just McLintock Park?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like a full old west town with like reenactors and shit, Let's go for the whole 9 yards. But I'm thinking like we could probably do like a water park on the side because of that wonderful scene where they're all sliding down the mud into the... What if we just made that into like a slide, a pool? It's like, hey, kids, come on down and see John Wayne impersonator beat his wife every night at 8 p.m. before closing. We have chasing the trollop through the town. Now you can join in and watch as John Wayne's impersonator.
The running of the trollop. The running of the trollop.
Yes.
You like that? Yeah. And we could have like just old west. Hey, here's some rock candy, kids, and go have fun on the gallows slide. And every day at 6 p.m. we have the engines run through and bust up the place. A couple actors. I got shot. Type shit. Easy. Not really. It'd be a fucking nightmare.
I'm imagining the running of the trollop, like the scene in Borat where it's like they have
with the giant head.
Jew. Yeah, the gigantic Jew, and it's like there's just a big trollop that they going down the street, and they got to beat it like a pinata.
Yeah, we'll paper mache Catherine's head, and we'll have like a giant paper mache John Wayne's head with a huge fucking cowboy hat.
What's the tone then, Brant? Like, what's the tone of this film?
I think.
Wait, is this a film? I thought this was just an amusement park.
This is just an amusement park. I could not fucking bring myself to making this into a movie.
You're saying you'd rather make this film into an amusement park than a film?
Yeah, I'd rather take like the on location place, which is probably somewhere in godforsaken California or some shit, and we could probably buy that land with a small loan of someone's heart and liver, maybe a couple $1 million on top of that. I think we could make a solid like little Midwestern ghost town type thing. I think it'd be nice. I think it could be interesting at the very least, because I don't think this movie warrants a remake.
Okay, I'm feeling an issue at the moment here, guys. So if those are the options, I mean, I guess a hybrid of them. But you guys, you're both kind of right. Brant, you're particularly right at the moment in the fact that, like, maybe there is a way for this to become a movie nowadays, but
I said there is no way. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, like, you could do a Sin City thing, I guess, with it and make it dark and gritty and all fucking dumb.
And that's the Cats move. But Cats, you're a
no. Cats wants to make like a comedy.
He wants to make a thriller. He wants to make a thriller that is a comedy.
Is Sin City
right?
comedy?
Yeah, no. Sin Cities. The look of Sin Cities would actually like. I was actually thinking like kind of Boingo Boingo. Like I don't know if anyone's seen Forbidden Zone or anything like that, but I don't know.
Boingo.
Like just sitting here and I'm pretending I have John Wayne's estate in the room with me, and I'm just like watching them hear these ideas and watching like any excitement they had going off of their face. And
okay,
sorry, John, maybe you should have made a not shitty movie.
I have a new pitch. I'm pitching it. I'm pitching this as an Adult Swim show. I don't know if anyone's seen like the Mike Tyson mystery series. I want to do John Wayne's, wife beating adventures.
Wife beating tips and cowboy poetry, brought to you by John Wayne.
Yeah. Cats, have you ever heard of a video game called Custer's Revenge?
That's more you trying fucking Indian, right? But
Custer's Revenge was an arcade. I think it was an arcade game. Maybe it was an Atari game.
Yeah, it wasn't allowed to be in public because it involved a lot of fucking.
Yeah, it was just rape of the Indians, the game, and you just played as Custer, and you just one after another. You can guess where that goes. In like 1983, very blocky graphics.
And literally, like it was explicitly like rape in the game.
Well, yeah, but it was like the guy looked like a fucking shitty drawing of Pinocchio. Like it wasn't good animation, but it exists. But anyway, I'm saying like I'm getting kind of a Custer's Revenge from this vibe from this Adult Swim show.
Why? I have. He didn't even say the R word yet.
No, he didn't say that word, and I'm not saying that word has to be involved.
Well, please, tell us how rape does get involved in your TV show, real quick.
I think we'd leave that out of it.
Okay, good. Thank
God. No, I mean, like it's Looney Tunes in the same way where it's like like those, like you can just leave like a lot of stuff out of it. Like there's real world implications that you don't even have to care about, And it's I don't know if you guys have ever watched like some of those weird Adult Swim shows, but like you don't really have to have. I don't know. I'm just kind of imagining now, like just having John Wayne as the as like the recurring character in this, and it's just like his ranch, and it's about his family, and it's like done. I don't know, a weird
it just keeps staying like it starts normal, but like by the end of every episode, it just takes a crazy left turn, but then just comes back to normal. At the end
you gotta have a talking animal, though. We gotta just have a talking animal.
It can't be a horse either. That's too easy.
Nah, a horse would be pretty nice though, because like
what about an ass?
How about a dog?
A donkey.
I could see a dog. This is all right. So wait. So what happens in this show? What does he do?
Yeah, is this like all a super jail, or is this more like the Mike Tyson, where it's just John Wayne's like, well, another section of fence got broken down today. Let's go see what it is. And then something like by the end, it's like, I'm fighting the Mexican drug cartel because they stole my boards to build bridges over the wall to sneak in their methamphetamine. Bang, bang, bang.
I'd watch like a John Wayne Samurai Jack if you can make that work. I'd watch that. That'd be dope.
Okay. Well, actually, that would be hilarious too. I don't know. You could structure it like super I don't know, like have it like in South Park, like every episode Kenny dies. Just have it so like at the end of every single episode of the John Wayne show, he just paddles his wife. We have to like somehow arc every single story around the fact that at the very end of every single episode, because we're using it's the McLintock of John Wayne. This is like because it's in the public domain, so you can use this. You can use John Wayne, and his likeness. Maybe you could already
as McLintock, but not actual
as G.W. McLintock. Yes, I'm not sure you can use John Wayne as G.W. McLintock, but you can use G.W. McLintock.
Because he looks like John Wayne.
But technically you can, because like I said, I own the rights to everything now. So.
Sure, yeah. And so he's the host, or not the host, but he's the main character and everything. And every single episode just revolves around like he in a very Looney Tunes fashion, the very end of every episode beats his wife. Or paddles his wife.
Can you give me like one scenario? Is it gonna be like a thing where it's like, oh, John, you're back and safe, and then she goes and hugs him, but she's like has a glass of wine, spills it on his shoulder. He's like, God damn it, woman!
Why you?
I have one. He is. They're on their ranch and everything, and they're doing all their ranch shit or whatever. All the stuff that he had to do like day to day or whatever he did, and they get visited by Mark Twain. So I don't know. He must probably dead at that point in time, but I can't remember. They get visited by.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, the ghost of Mark Twain. There you go. The ghost of Mark Twain shows up and starts giving him like writing advice and tells him he needs to write a book. And then John Wayne decides to start writing a book, but Mark Twain doesn't like it. And then they start to get into a writing war.
1910, yeah, he definitely dead by then.
And his wife says that Mark Twain is a better writer, and she joins like his side of the writing war. But John Wayne writes the most beautiful
cowboy poetry you've ever read.
Yeah, he writes an entire book of cowboy poetry that brings everybody to tears.
No, not even an entire book, just one like 3-line poem.
Yeah,
that you can just hear the Red River running through.
Who did the 6-letter? It's baby shoes for sale, never worn. You just it's like that, but it's like stepped in the cow patty, Had to clean my boots. And people were just in tears over it.
Cattle cross the river when it's not too high, but when it is too high.
Horse sad. Cowboy.
Sad horse. Spurs, beans. He just starts doing like beat poetry.
Dude, I would actually not do that. Are you spelling in the general store?
Dog pies.
And everybody agrees that he wins. And then he bends his wife over, and he's like, "This is what you get for not joining my side." He starts paddling her, and Mark Twain's like, "Yeah, I fucking get it,"
I think, Katz, you might have wandered into the best way that we've got so far. It's still going to make the Wayne family pretty sad. But honestly, I don't see us I tried to think of a way to make this movie again. But honestly, I think doing the Space Ghost coast to coast method with this is our best option. The only reason anyone gives a shit about Space Ghost anymore is because Hanna-Barbera lost the rights to him or whatever. Why ever that show exists, we can do that same thing with G.W. McLintock. And it's just the adventures of G.W. McLintock.
I guess my last question is, what's the medium? Are we going to do claymation, or are we gonna do
animation?
Okay, thank God.
2D animation.
Yeah, 2D. Yeah.
Flash, hand drawn. What are you going for?
Hand drawn. I want hand drawn. It's supposed to be like a Looney Tunes.
Yeah, bro. We can just get a bunch of we can get a bunch of underpaid interns, art students to fucking draw this thing for us. Easy.
Yeah, a bunch of all too willing.
And that'll be part of the charm of it. Is each episode it gets have you guys ever watched 12-Ounce Mouse? Actually, that really
was just about to bring up 12-Ounce Mouse.
Perfect.
That's a great show, Cats. You should check out 12-Ounce Mouse.
Never even heard of it.
It's just a really shittily drawn, and it's just that super early 2000s kind of awkward,
it's that early Adult Swim type shit where it's I'm a guy. You can almost hear the fucking dirty studio apartment the guy making it lives in.
Dude, yeah, there's a couple cells on that show that you'll be watching. It's is that a coffee stain? Yeah, it is.
Oh, dude, the bartender that just has a line from the script on him all the time. That's so weird. I love it.
It's just, we could easily do that. Yeah, we'll just get a bunch of fucking unpaid interns and be we don't care how bad it looks because we already know it's going to be funny.
Well, I don't know. The way the Cats was describing it makes me want a Mike Tyson level budget of animation at least.
That's
not even that. I'm thinking you could do this with the level Venture of animation Brothers. That was in Dr. Katz. Do you guys ever see the Dr. Katz show or
I know Dr. Katz. Yeah, he's the film critic one. Damn, that's a callback, isn't it? Wait, who's Dr. Katz?
He's a doctor.
Oh no,
we're going to Adult Swim for this, and they have a fair amount of money kicking around. They made fucking Rick and Morty. They know what they're doing. So if we're gonna try to make this show, let's talk celebrity voice cast. Who do we got? Who's John Wayne?
Ooh,
my gut instinct is Patrick Warburton because he plays every deep voiced guy.
Who's that?
Patrick Warburton.
Yeah.
Peter. He's the guy who played Kronk in Emperor's New Groove.
Hey, Peter.
Oh, yeah. Okay, he's a great. Yeah.
Hey,
well, he's also he's in Venture Brothers.
He's in everything. He's a great voice actor. He's one of our time's greatest voice actors.
Yeah, and he just uses the same voice each time.
Because it's a great voice. Same thing with H. John Benjamin. He could probably do a really good John Wayne.
Who was in Dr. Katz? H. John Benjamin. And John Benjamin is in Dr. Katz. I'm literally looking at that right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I just know him as he's Archer. So that's what I know him as.
Well, he would do a good voice, although his voice always sounds the same too.
It does. It probably wouldn't be able to go as cowboy as convincingly as we want it to.
I think somebody who's not generally a comedy actor. Honestly, I'd like to get somebody like that. Maybe not. I said Harrison Ford, but maybe not Harrison Ford. But
we could fucking afford Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
Charlie Sheen. Let's get him. We can get Charlie Sheen easily.
Charlie Sheen would be great.
Nah, I bet he doesn't have a very good. I want a really good John Wayne voice here.
No, yeah, a little more serious actually would be better. But
Should we get Charlie Sheen to be the sidekick or like the animal guy?
Right.
Like how Norm Macdonald's
so all
pigeon?
the sidekicks, side characters, cameos, talking animal, all that shit we can put celebrities into. But I think that's where we should put our celebrity money into. And for John Wayne, we should just find the person who does the world's best John Wayne impression.
Some old guy in a fucking retirement home in Arizona is probably our best bet, honestly.
Could be, and I would actually love that much more if it wasn't an actor and it was just some old guy that we became friends with. Like, I would love that.
Okay, and if we don't, if we still want some kind of celebrity, I would say Mike Judge. Actually, I changed my voice to Mike Judge as the voice.
Mike Judge would be an excellent fucking John Wayne.
Yeah,
he would be a very good John Wayne.
Oh shit!
I hear his voice too easily though. Like I would listen to him read John Wayne, and I would just hear Hank.
I know, and Mike Judge's voice actually sounds just like Beavis. Like his regular voice is Beavis's voice in a lot of ways. Right.
Going back through, since we started doing the audio plays, which I'm plugging right now, go to badcircle.com/audio plays. If for some reason you know about this and don't know about that, but not badcircle.com, go to YouTube. But when we started doing that, I noticed how much I just started noticing voices a lot more in like watching animation and shit. And man, Mike Judge and whoever it is who voices Bill, those guys voice fucking everyone on that show.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Like they do a good job. I didn't realize how, like the extent. But yeah, Mike Judge would do a really good John Wayne impression, I think.
Who are we thinking for the white? What are you saying?
Oh no, I was just going rattling on about Mike Judge. The wife,
Jennifer Tilly. Because I love her.
Who's Jennifer Tilly?
It's from Tully. From she's the high pitched one from Chucky. She's the Chucky, the girl Chucky doll. No, it's fine.
I've never watched any of the Chucky movies.
I recently watched Child's Play, but who are you talking? Is she the mother?
Yeah, she's Jennifer Tilly.
Okay, I don't remember.
She's a slightly hot one.
Can't remember what she looked like in that movie.
Actually, she's really
we could
Jennifer,
just go.
if you listen to this, I love you.
We could just go full Tara Strong, Brant.
That's an option too, but I think that's kind of an easy way out, honestly.
Who's a great angry lady actress? Who does
Gina
that?
Carano. Gina Carano just lost her job. Let's get her.
Shout out. I don't know if Bad Circle as an organization is behind Gina Carano, but I'm right here saying I'm pro Gina Carano. Fuck you guys. Fuck you, Disney. I'll fuck that mouse in the face. Fucking Lord, bitch.
The problem is, I think Ben Shapiro already has his hands inside of her supple Amazonian body.
Yeah, that's true.
The Daily Wire did like we're getting into the weeds now, but they did like an immediate Facebook post where they're like, "Oh, you're welcome on the Daily Wire."
Fucking seconds, dude. It was like I literally saw like we're done with Gina, and Ben was like, "I love Gina. Gina, come on in. Come on in. The door's open. We'll do something with you. We'll have you step on my balls, maybe." I do a really bad Ben Shapiro, if you guys can't tell.
Yeah, that's not Ben Shapiro whatsoever.
That was not even anybody who Ben Shapiro.
He talks like this. Actually, it's
my voice. Gina, I saw that they dropped you, so I was hoping that maybe you could come on in. Maybe we could have a little sit together, a little talk. Maybe you could step on my balls. Maybe do a little CBT, cock and ball torture. We'll talk about your pay for this upcoming movie that I literally just thought of.
Still not Ben Shapiro at all. Really,
I can't do him. I can't do him.
Like honestly,
if
I was interested in the idea of having my balls crunched. Like, if that was the thing that I want those fucking Rebel Alliance combat boots all over my fucking baby.
The best part about Gina, we'll get out these weeds, but the best part is she doesn't even have to use her fucking boots, dude. Like that strong grip, she could crush your nuts like fucking little Mr. Peanut. I want to fucking smash his head in with a hammer sometimes. But
I highly doubt. I don't want to offend Miss Carano, but I highly doubt she would find any of this offensive. I wouldn't be surprised if she's crushed nuts in the past. I honestly wouldn't be surprised.
Why are we talking about Gina Carano again? What the fuck?
She just got fired, and she should be. Oh yeah, she should be the wife. She could be the wife.
No, I don't think she should be the wife though, because like who I'm thinking of, like I think we should find like. My first instinct, who are some women who do like really large amounts of emotion really well, especially in their voice? Caitlin Olsen. Is that the chick who played Sweet D? She could be really good.
Yo, well, if we got the Olsen twins and we had them,
Oh yeah,
they're just, and they say their lines at the same time. So like, Catherine always has this fucked up double voice thing going on.
Brant, I don't know who are you working for right now?
It's really a question. Yeah, I don't know either.
What kind of idea is that?
Yeah, I can't do anything.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say to
If we
that.
do a weird Dr. Katz type thing, we're gonna do this fucking avant-garde weird shit. Why not? Why not have a double voice?
We got to make it watchable, or
Make it
listenable
watchable.
in this case.
Because she only shows up at the end, so it'd be like,
dude, you know who might be able to do a great if you just went really hard on like the shrew part of her character and just like yelling woman like John Wayne. If you did that, Christian Shaw might be really great for that.
I was thinking that because I've been watching Bob's Burgers lately, and is she like isn't she like the little girl?
Yeah, she's Louise. Is that the one with the bunny ears?
Yeah, Louise. Yeah, the bunny ears one. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like her fucking shouty voice. But then I don't know. Maybe that's one direction. You could go that direction where it's just shouty and that's the joke. I actually kind of think it would be better if you had like just like a little more subtlety to the bitchiness. Maybe like have her be a little bit more. I don't know, like more interesting at least. But going more bitchy also makes it so the ending is easier to get to if you're going to do like the paddling joke at the end of every single episode. So
yeah, no, I can dig that. Do you guys remember Tootie from the Fairly Odd Parents?
Oh fuck, man! I don't know.
Let me look it up really quick because it'll trigger. It was
the little girl from next door who had a crush on. She was Vicky's little sister, and she had a crush on Timmy.
That chick, I do remember her. I just looked her up.
Do you remember her voice? And she was like, Timmy! I could see that.
I don't think it was that bad, but yeah, it was.
It was
great.
worse. It was actually.
She sucked. Yeah, she sucked. I do remember that. Like,
that's true. We need someone whose voice will make people hate her, so they don't mind as much that she gets beat at the end of every episode.
If we're gonna end every single episode with that joke, we have to make that character as annoying as possible in a small stint. So having a very shrill voice is probably our best move.
Well, Grey DeLiesel, I'm mispronouncing that, I'm sure. She's 47 years old, so she's still probably like stuff, and she has a great voice. And she's
send her a script. She is in the short list.
As far as I'm concerned, she's on the payroll.
Okay, the last most important character that we have to. All right, I think there should be a general bad guy, and there needs to be a good sidekick character. We already decided on like a horse or a dog or something for the sidekick character.
I think it should be an ass.
Either way, it's a true shame. Whatever animal it is, it's a real big shame that Norm Macdonald's already been taken as the animal sidekick in a show.
That's why I'm saying Charlie Sheen. He's perfect for it. He's got the energy to be a sidekick easily.
He's not.
No, dude, have you heard Charlie Sheen's voice? Have you ever seen Food Fight?
Yeah.
Is he?
He's a boring as fuck voice actor. Maybe he's done better in other things, but his voice is boring.
Perfect for a donkey.
He could work for a donkey if it's like a wacky ass donkey. I don't know.
Wacky-ass donkey. This week, starring Charlie Sheen as the donkey.
Hey, what if because like this is supposed to be like a parody of Westerns and a parody of McLintock and a parody of that era, like you could we'd need to hire some black writers to do this properly, of course, obviously. But if you cast the animal character as like a black guy, like Dave Chappelle or Tracy Morgan or somebody, if you cast the animal sidekick character as that, you could have a lot of really funny scenes where there's some kind of like weird cowboy racism thing going on, and that character is like in on it, even though they're clearly voiced by the blackest person. I don't know. There's
so
jokes.
What if it's wolf? What if it's a wolf and it's a Native American like voice? We just get a Native American voice actor.
Sure. Who's big? Who's big? What big natives we got? Honestly, though, he can have a big like chief character. You know, like the chief should be the chief character should be his number 2 because they were established as buddies in that movie. The chief should be his like sidekick, and then they can have the animal character as like the goofy sidekick.
Yeah, only if like the chief is like the most grounded in reality, and like as soon as the stuff really starts getting goofy, he's like, you know what, John, I'm gonna leave you to it, buddy.
Yeah, no, the chief's the straight man. John Wayne is the crazy main character, and then we have funny, goofy side character who causes all the problems.
I'm honestly thinking, I don't know, like it's a chemistry situation, but like if John Wayne is his charismatic self, and it's like we're doing this in the Looney Tunes way, and the wife is really bitchy, John Wayne's really I'm John Wayne. Like, what if like the chemistry? What if we just like make it so that the animal character is the straight man?
Okay, so say it's an what if the wife also goes on these adventures too, but she's just always tied up to the horse or whatever straight man animal it is?
She always gets kidnapped by the villain, and then he always rescues her.
Nah, if we're gonna do an always kidnapped by the villain thing, we'd have to come up with a really clever way to flip that on its head.
Okay, so Mike Tyson mystery team, like they're a mystery team. Like that's what they do. Like that's how they get from that's how they get stories each episode.
Right. Yeah, and that's. All right, what are you saying?
What's the driving, like, what do they do? They're cattle ranchers, you know? He
owns a mine, a town, and he's a rancher too.
Well, his motivation in the movie, right, was he just wanted to live and get drunk, but his wife is annoying. So and if some reason that sent him off on all of his adventures, like, maybe that could be it. I don't know.
I'm so sick of my bitchy wife. Hey, Chief Squanto, let's get out of here and go on an adventure. And then the fucking chappy dog or whatever we have as a sidekick's like, oh, don't forget me. And they go off on an adventure.
I don't know.
And then they come back.
They don't even have to go on adventures, though. They don't really go on mini. Like, maybe they just kind of stay in their territory. Like, you could.
Yeah, they can be at the ranch. Like, if they need to go on an adventure, they can. But there's a lot of stuff you could just do at the ranch or around the farm or in the town of McLintock.
Hey, John Wayne, some vampires took residence in your mines. We got to go down there and clear them out. He's like, well.
Sure. There's no reason on God's green earth why that can't be an Emmy-winning episode.
John Wayne, the Wendigo, is on the loose. We have to go hunt it.
Yeah, we got another one. Yeah, it's like coyotes keep taking our cows. It's like, hey, that's no coyote, kid. That's a Wendigo.
Yeah. You know, and then all the Native American, like the whole, the tribe has to help them.
Oh fuck yeah, that'd be perfect. Actually, like they track down the Wendigo, and it turns out it's just like some like tribal stuff. Like it's part of a ceremony. He just straight up kills someone in a Wendigo costume.
Or like what if they're chasing the Wendigo? Yeah, what if they're chasing the Wendigo down? Here's what happens. They're chasing the Wendigo down, and his wife decides to take the reins, and she shoots the Wendigo and kills an innocent man, actually. And that's why he beats her at the end.
So that's the pilot? Is that the pilot?
That's the pilot. That's the pilot. That's
okay, yeah, and these are like what? These are like 10-minute episodes, 15-minute episodes?
Yeah, 10 minutes. Let's do it. That's
okay. Cool. So sure, that sounds great. I think that's a pretty good pilot.
It's really funny. I can see it already, dude. Like, yeah, she's like, "I'll take a shot," and she fucking, "I'll show you, John," and shoots the Wendigo, and he goes over. He's like, "Oh, Catherine, that was a man." He takes the mask off, and then he just starts spanking her.
So this is a DM. This that I'm about to say is actually just a DM to Adult Swim. So like, what do they have that we don't, guys? Like, just like literally, what did you just hear that wasn't worth $1 billion? Adult Swim. That's all I'm asking. That's the only question I'm asking. Because I didn't hear shit that wasn't worth $1 billion.
No, actually, like the more we talk about it, this sounds like a show on Adult Swim.
It does. Honestly, if fucking Mike Tyson's Mysteries can be a show, why can't this be a show?
And it's in the public fucking domain. We can.
It is. There is nothing. We can make this show today.
All right. All right. Put on the big boy britches. I'll fucking send an email to Adult Swim.
Send it.
I'm down.
An email. Send an email. Nice.
Oh yeah. Well, I want to make this into like a. Like a pilot myself, honestly, no.
Yeah, no, I'd watch this, and it sounds really good to me. So, yeah, okay, cool. I think that we've decided on what our program is going to be. So we have done our duty we have made sure that the Wayne family is going to continuously receive their fucking residual checks or whatever. I don't know.
Nothing more.
$6 every couple of years should keep them through hard times. Give them a loaf of bread every now and again when they need it. But anyway, that means that this is the magical part of the show where we get to figure out what the fuck it is we're watching next. And I believe it's Brant's turn next, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh boy, we're doing some weird avant-garde shit, boys. I don't even do this. Isn't even a real movie, I'm sure, but we're gonna watch a recruitment video.
What?
We're gonna watch a recruitment video from the Church of Subgenius.
Fucking what, Brant? What kind of idea is that?
Oh, you guys are gonna love it. I think Cats will like it at least. Cats, are you already privy to the Subgenius, the Church of Subgenius?
No, I have no idea. I'm already foreseeing like an inability to try and like change, like rewrite this. But it sounds like it's probably going to be interesting.
I just want to start a cult, guys. I'm going to be honest. I've wanted to start a cult for a long time, and I think making you guys watch an actual cult recruitment video might help.
Okay. Wait. But are you going to give us information on where to find this?
Oh yeah, I'll send you guys a link and everything. I think I don't want to. I don't.
Is it just going to be like a public domain archive link, like archive.com?
Not even. It's just something I found on YouTube, and it's
how long is it?
Hour 25 minutes.
All right.
Okay. And you're gonna watch it, and you're gonna probably come out of it a bit different, honestly.
All right. Well, does anybody honestly like we probably did say something cancelable in here. So sorry about that to whoever's currently hunting down my mom's address. Sorry I said whatever I said. But yeah, I guess that's the end of the show. We'll see you next week for cold recruitment.
Arise! The Church of the Subgenius.
I'm going to play us out real quick.
Maybe we'll do like an hour of the church broadcast too, if you guys don't fucking shape up. I want to see some real cult shit. Come on! Yeah!
Some real cult shit.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
You heard the call, lads. Cult shit is a coming.